There you go. Red dot means that we are live. Today, the 13th of September, we are in the middle of the reprise of the year. Everyone is welcoming back their own, let's say, business live and whatsoever, and so do we. And today we are introducing a huge project, guys, and I'm sure you will be stoked about it. And with us, we have our friends Dave, Akash, and Youssef. So welcome, guys, officially to Nordic Whales.
Thank you very much, Papa.
Pleasure.
Cool. So I've noticed, as I was saying right before the recording started, that you guys have a super cool introduction video, and I would like to play it. I hope it will come through with the audio, so let's try that already.
Okay. No audio.
You don't have audio?
Not for me.
Huh. Can you maybe share it? Because I had the problems with the audio too in the past. Just let me try to restart the browser maybe while I'm sharing my system audio. Sorry.
I think our Tommy might be about to pop it in there.
Yeah, let me just try again. So
if we can play it for everyone, that would be good. And we all watch together like in the old days, huh?
I can maybe try to share my screen first, and then this will be much better, probably.
Okay. Seeing that.
Screen system audio.
That's it.
Okay. And now I will restart my browser session.
And let's restart the video.
Yeah. Wait.
I'm checking.
There you go. Let's try again. Now?
Yeah. Good.
What makes an athlete truly exceptional? Power, skill, accuracy, vision. Today, we have insight on performance like never before. We can map out how our favorite sports are expected to play and measure how well they're doing over a game, a season, and even their entire career. Because sport today is driven by data. With AllStars Digital, you can capture that data, then trade your players and earn from their real-life performances. Watch your favorite tournaments, the biggest sports events around the world, and take up a position. All using the AllStars coin, a new digital currency that's enabling a sports staking revolution.
Yes.
Why limit yourself to binary choices, wins and losses, when we have all this insight?
Why?
After all, sport is in the details, the key moments. Let's play the game like it's really played. With a single index price that goes up and down based on real-life performances recorded in thousands of match data points. When your players do well, so do you. Close your position when it suits you. And with all transactions visible on the blockchain, it's secure, quick, and simple. AllStars Digital gives this generation a new stake in the game. It's time to trade your passion. Join us today at allstarsdigital.io or follow us on social.
Bam, really nice. Sorry for the small technical hiccup. So, guys, awesome video. It draws a really nice canvas for our session, but I would like to bring it back one step and know something more about yourself and maybe a brief introduction regarding the man force that you guys have embedded in your project team, right?
Sure. Youssef, do you want to start?
Yeah, sure. It's an honor. Thank you, Dave. And thank you for having us today, guys. It's a real honor to be part of this community. My name is Youssef Mechehouri. I'm the CEO of AllStars Digital. My background has been traditional finance. I've been head of equity derivatives trading for the past 15 years. I've done running businesses in Paris, in London for tier 1 banks. And then I just got tired with investment banking, traditional finance. So I started, running my own hedge fund on crypto back in 2019, 20, then left banking in 2020. And actually, one thing leading to another, I met these amazing people that are part now of AllStars Digital, who are Akash, Mark, Dev, Dave, Tommy, and the rest of the team. And we are building a truly one-of-a-kind project. It's basically combining crypto, finance, and sports into one single product, which is AllStars Digital. And it will be a pleasure to talk through this, but maybe Akash, you want to give a little bit more background about yourself as well.
Thank you, Youssef.
Yes, hello, thank you, Youssef, for that introduction. Brief introduction on me. My name is Akash Garu. I'm the Chief Product Officer for AllStars Digital. I'll explain that role at some point in this chat. Want to first thank you for welcoming us to such an illustrious AMA community, and we hope you can answer all your questions. Quick background on me. I'm more than 20 years in the financial services industry, mostly working on products for the retail trading sector. So it's all about user experience and delivering a product that is easy to understand, usually breaking down a complex environment like tradable asset classes. And so that kind of journey led me to kind of build more sort of platforms of the similar type. And then so I was CTO for a couple of organizations as fintech organizations. And then I eventually got into a project called Football Index, which was several years ago, which was a really great concept, which is where you can trade people. You can trade the footballers on this platform, and they would go up and down based on peer-to-peer transactions. And it was an amazing concept, and it got really great traction, and I kind of enjoyed learning about it. Unfortunately, the business I was in there was a great idea, but actually a very flawed business model. And so that didn't get past the pandemic, unfortunately, in terms of a business. But at the same time, I was talking to the co-founders, Mark, and I already knew from 20 years ago. I've worked with him in the past. And so he just said, look, everything you've done, everything you've just recently experienced, we're going to shake the market up with a very brand new proposition. And we're going to do it right from the start. And I just couldn't resist. And we came over, and we've been working for about 2 years on this. And this is the place we've always wanted to get to, which is like sitting here telling the Web3 community about this product. So it's just an amazing journey that we've been on. And we're just really excited about just being on the cusp of the launch of this product, which is where it should be. It's about the democratization of this product and giving it to the hands of those people who are already highly literate about Web3 products. So what we like to do is be able to offer these new alternative, exciting, relatable assets that you can trade right next to your current Bitcoin or your Ethereum or your, the next altcoin that you're really interested in following. So we'll talk more about that because it's about delivering this on an exchange. But that's just a quick introduction. And thank you for playing the video because that really explains a lot about the product and gets us going.
Yeah, sorry for the technical hiccup, but I need to share my whole system screen. If not, doesn't go through with a single window. Learned something. And also, let me just drop a note here, guys. Look at the amount of people collaborating, just as a reference. Also, the CTO, his name is Dev, so I guess best CTO ever. And so just to say that indeed there's let's say a big amount of skills on the table and experience on the table, because if all the other members of the core team and collaborators have the same kind of background as you two guys, I imagine that, well, you know what you're doing for sure, right?
Yeah, and Pufferfish, I think, so we've got about over 50 people working on this project, right, Youssef? And, they're located all around the world. It's a truly virtual company. It's really exciting when we have a town hall meeting or whether there's people in South America, in India, in North Africa, in Europe. It's really cool.
Let me just, another small technical. I need to share only the browser so that I can check my notes and do my thing. So sorry for that again. Small interruption. There you go. Okay, perfect. Let me grab my notes. If not, I'm lost. So we briefly discussed and introduced the actors, which are the engine of the project. But now, since there's so much to be discussed and there was already so much activity in the chat, I would really like to dive into the context a little bit, the business context, the industry context, because we saw with each session that we host here, especially for high-profile project, we saw that there's always a flow that needs to be fixed. And what's your mission regarding indeed these objectives? So what can you tell us about the status of the betting and fantasy, let's say, sport game industry?
Hello.
Hey guys, sorry about that. So I don't mind. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
I don't mind picking that up, right? Because you've gone straight to kind of the mission point on our white paper, and let me just kind of explain this in simple terms. What we recognise is that the world is obviously transitioning very quickly, right, into this digital sphere, and there's a traditional world and there's a huge industry revolving around staking in sports. Let's just say it for what it is. It's betting. It's gambling in sports. The only way you can really partake in your feeling about who's going to take the winning piece of a game or perform the best is to go and have a bet on it. Now, for many people, that's okay. But there's many people that's just like it doesn't fit within their kind of the thing that they wish to partake in. Certainly for our founder, Dev, he never betted in his life, which is why he kind of had a mission to build this product. Now, he was from the financial services too, but he'd much rather have a trade in a position to stake his position on it than a bet. And there's many reasons for that. Many reasons for that. When you're in a trade, it's a perpetual position. You're in it as long as you want to be in it, and you trade out when you want to trade out. It's not like a bet. A bet lasts for a certain period of time. And you have to declare your position on that bet. Which way does the binary piece go? And you also need to know, and you have to be quite declarative about what outcome you're asking for that bet to achieve. When you're in a trade, multiple variables can contribute to your trade being successful or otherwise. And therefore, when you marry that back to performance of an athlete can perform in many ways that don't actually equate to maybe a goal or a wicket or a touchdown or anything like that, the key moments in sport. But they contributed so heavily to the game. So your trade is actually the trade value of the trade, the stock value of that player is going up. And that's what Dev ultimately wanted to achieve. And we've been through a long, rocky road achieving that with our product. So the pricing is now fluid, so it enables that.
I can imagine.
So that's one thing. It's a challenge on traditional gambling because not everyone wants it going forward. But number two, and it's a very decisive point, is the traditional gambling does not have a place in Web3 because you need an operator to offer the sports book. But if you offer an exchange where all participants can contribute to that exchange with their positions, then actually that's much more like the way the community will get round and partake in a position on a game. And so we're bringing in that element of skill and the trading capability to pit your wits against the market on that.
Sure.
And that's exactly how obviously the traditional crypto world already operates. So we're marrying this up. We're taking this concept and marrying it towards the crypto world as it stands at the moment. The last thing is that currently all transactions in the traditional bookmaking space are opaque. You know nothing about them, right? So bringing that onto the blockchain also enables us to give you an insight of visibility into those transactions that are taking place, bringing a whole level of transparency to this product type. So we're hoping not only to bring those who are traditionally trading, but the crypto world who need a relatable product, but also a whole new audience of sports fans who haven't found a way to trade the way they want to on a position or a stake in a game. And that's our mission. Yeah. So I'm going to leave it there.
Yeah, because indeed it's a completely new perspective as well regarding crypto investment itself, right? Because you are basically leveraging your physical world knowledge of a certain dynamic, in this case, your sports knowledge, right, to get an edge on the market and to have a much more educated guess and with which placing your bet. So I feel like there's an added layer of complexity and consideration that will, as you said, appeal as well to people who are not only in the crypto space already, right? But people who are maybe more interested into the quality of services that this technology may bring, of course. So yeah, thanks for the intro. Another small aspect, if you allow me, that I would like to touch quickly to give an idea of what we're talking about to our audience is how much money is on the table here, right? Because I think it's important to understand what's the potential. I don't know, maybe it's an out of the line question. Let me know every time if my questions are not, let's say, if they're not appropriate. But I think it's important to check a little bit the table, right?
Quickly, because I kind of know these numbers from my mind, actually. At this moment, the whole world, if you combine gambling and fantasy, etc., it's kind of like about $440 billion a year that changes hands, right? So that's kind of like quite a large market. But that's not really what I mean. There's more things that's circling around here. So the current FX world, the FX is a very, very liquid market, and actually all combined is about 5.4 trillion a day. That's a regular number that gets bounded around. Obviously, not all of it is traded in a derivatives fashion, but like there's a very large market there. And then betting and fantasy, about 1.2 billion is traded on a daily basis. And if you take the top 5 or 25, say, crypto exchanges, there's about 35 billion being traded on crypto. So the numbers are enormous, right? But there's a combination factor going on here. You don't add those up, you actually find the intersection. So we're totally in the belief that, you know, we're $1 billion a day transactions on our exchange is just totally believable. And now in our models, doesn't take too long to get there.
Yeah, so indeed, I love this transaction as well by reading your white paper, and I wanted to reproduce it, if you wish, as well in our session. And we got perfectly with our focus, oriented to the product. So what's the product sits in the middle of these huge markets, correct, in terms of market placement, but what is it actually practically? What are you guys planning to work with and to deliver to your community and investors?
Do you want that one, Yusuf?
Yep, I can take that one. So to make it simple, what we want for our community is to be able to invest on sports player the same way people invest on Bitcoin, Tesla stock, Facebook stock, euro dollar, whatever. You know, it's a new asset class that is more relatable than any other before. You know, I've been in the financial industry for more than 15 years, and I can tell you I know more about Ronaldo's performance or past performance than euro dollar. You know, I've been trading equity for 15 years. God knows where they go up or they go down. I mean, you know, people can spend days and hours.
Sometimes it's like, it's so difficult also for professionals to actually follow the equities and FX market, right?
Yeah, there are so many things happening out there that it's very difficult, but our product is simple because if you think Messi is going to perform, and you know, you follow football every weekend, so you know how good he is or how bad he's performing, you just need to buy his stock. And the big difference with betting is that betting only allow you one type of event. For example, you call Messi is going to score a goal, okay? If he scores 2 goals, well, actually, even though he scored the goal, you lose all your stake because he didn't call the right event. And with our product, we allow you to make money out of that. And even in case, you know, you placed an order on Ronaldo and Ronaldo doesn't perform well, you're not going to lose your stake. You might lose 5-10% of that, and the next game you might make your money back. So this is in a nutshell what we do. So how do we do it? Because actually, that's the core of our business is tech. So we work with third-party data provider in the likes of Opta and Sports Trader. So these are companies that are established in the world that have people sitting on every stadium or that have...
Opta is the company behind Opta Planner?
Exactly, yes. And so these guys, they, probably in Spain, Germany, England, they have someone sitting in the stadium collecting information. And for the rest of the leagues, they have their crazy AI software that watch TV and are able to collect data. So what they do is, as soon as something happens on the pitch, within milliseconds, they send us the information. Messi just scored a goal. Messi got an assist. Neymar just got fouled. Mbappe made a successful cross. Lewandowski made an unsuccessful pass. So whatever data we get on the pitch, we collect it, we process it, and we give it a weight, okay, like index points and weight. So, for example, if Messi scores a goal, his index price will go up 3.5%. If Mbappe makes an assist, his price go up 2%. Neymar, even if it's unlikely, if he misses a penalty, his price will go down 3%. So for every event that you can think of, we are able to turn it into price movement, okay? And we collect roughly 500 data points per game per player. We process it and we build these indices. So every player, we have an index. So in the traditional world, there will be a derivative called CFD. But in the digital world, we are going to offer, to start with, a perpetual future on his performance. And later on, once we go on-chain, we'll be able to offer token. So you'll be able to buy Messi's performance on a token on-chain.
That's awesome. So sorry, but while you were speaking, I was playing around with your demo application, and it's awesome.
Good, yeah,
it's super good. I played before as well the session, but I did not notice, for example, the richness. So there's the dashboard, the financial section. So I think here we are focusing on your first main use case, which is AllStars Trader, right? So we were discussing about AllStars Trader, if I'm correct.
Yes. So AllStars Trader actually is the MVP. We have such an amazing idea. We want to make sure that it's relatable to people and it works. So what we have done is we went to Western Africa, okay, for the past 6 months, and we've tested this product, okay, with fiat money, okay. So we have over 14,000 users. We have done more than 200,000 transactions.
Okay.
Traded around $680 million of volume for the past 5 months on this product, which is called AllStars Trader. So this was just to test our product, just to make sure that people like it. It's relatable. People don't complain about some things going on, going wrong. And now what we do in November is we're going to launch the bigger project, which is AllStars Exchange. And I mean, AllStars Digital, which is a digital exchange where people all over the world can trade using fiat, using Bitcoin, USDT, our own token, ASC, whatever you want. You just come in, you want to buy Messi, just connect your wallet, and bam, here you go. You can start to trade Messi's performance.
Okay, cool. So for everyone who doesn't know in the audience, MVP stands for minimal valuable product. So it's basically a working demo, if you wish, something more than a demo that can be used to actually test the concepts, test the technology, and whatsoever. So it means that there's already the maturity. You guys are close to launch your product. But if I may have just first question that comes into my mind, right? You said that you're using a data feed from a third party, right? But how is this data generated in the first place? Is there some sort of automatic harvesting of the data? There's someone inputting the data. Do you guys know? Do you guys care? And it's just a curiosity that I have, right? Because the source of the data itself brings some curiosity to me.
these are highly reputable data companies. So Opta, for example, is owned by an organization called Stats Perform, who collects sports data in different fields all over the world. But certainly in the UK, they are known as the #1 provider of statistics relating to soccer, to football. And they can collect, I don't know, it's probably about 500 different single data points on every player performance piece. And they are collected both by using human users who literally sit and watch the games, as Youssef mentioned earlier. But increasingly, it's becoming, automated via use of, you see players these days with these monitors on, where kind of data is being captured, on satellites whilst games are being played. So, in one of my role, Puffer, is I'm involved in taking that data and turning it into a sort of an entertainment piece for AllStars Digital. So I work on content and communities. Yeah. And, what we want to do is make this really good fun, really great fun to get involved with, as well as insightful, actually. So you can kind of look into those statistics that you were digging into there. So I think you had one of the players and their performance graph for a match, and you could see basically their performance going up through the game. And that was being kind of forced or driven by actions they were taking in the game, whether that be a tackle made in the 2nd minute, a defensive block made in the 5th minute, a run upfield in the 13th minute, eventually an assist, which creates a big jump in their performance graph, or a goal, which so often the biggest performance graph. So
sorry, I'm not wrong if I say that it's nearly real time, right? The update of your own data.
It's real time. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I just wanted to finish by saying it's quite incredible, the statistics that they gather, that is gathered by the likes of Opta now.
It is.
So, I was digging in, and it's things like where on your body you receive a pass. So they can actually measure whether you take the pass with your feet, with your thigh, with your chest, your stomach, your head.
Wow.
So it's that intensity of data, and as you say, being collected live.
So I'll tell you what, Puffer. So many years ago, this product that we built wasn't possible, right? Because we are sitting, where our product sits on the shoulders of giants, right? It was the gambling industry that pushed the envelope on this, right? So the data got faster and faster and richer and got collected. And so companies like Opta, Sports Genius, Sports Radar have built these massive, big skill sets, right, and technologies to harvest this data. Like, there's a lot to it on the other side. But actually, we capture these data points. But what AllStars Digital do, and that the other companies have never done before, is we create derivative sets of that data, which are fast calculating and telling us some indicator of the performance trajectory of each player as well. Sure. And that's based on our in-house knowledge. So we'll talk about Dev, who's a founder, right? He comes from an indices creation background from the big banks and the hedge funds. And so there's a practice around building hedgeable indices. And so he's used all those practices that are all standard, but they're usually used for building boring indices that you trade.
He synthesized the sport data, right? It's incredible.
Yes. And then, so what we've done is now this is a new application on that data that's being pushed through really fast for the betting companies. We're now using it to build real sharp indicators around mathematical models here. And that's what's really behind, that's the brains behind the entire product. So we're posting 4,000 footballers simultaneously at the same time.
Wow. I'm visualizing some of these statistics, aggregated data that you guys propose on your, let's say, UI, through your UI, sorry. And I'm really amazed, if I need to tell you the truth, but maybe it's a good segue to understand exactly from how is the performance then evaluated starting from this elaborated data feed, right? Because I imagine, for example, here I see that there are stats for team play, stats for discipline, stats for attacking. So what's the
Yeah.
algorithm that I guess your engine, Adrix, right, applies more or less on an eye level? Of course, we don't have the pretentious wish to understand completely how it works, but maybe an introduction on a simple example, let's say. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly it, isn't it? It's an algorithm which takes, up to 500 data points per player per match, and synthesizes all of the actions that they took in the match, and turns it into a single, what we call match points record, which effectively ranks up the players at the end of the match and tells you who was the best player. And that, I continue to say this is one of the most fascinating and most brilliant things about this product for me is, I kind of read, sports reports all over the place every weekend, and you get these kind of ratings, and it's like this player was 7 out of 10 and this player was 8 out of 10. And this player was 4 out of 10 in the game, but it's completely subjective from the journalists, and there's no objective measurement of performance, which is, kind of applied equally for a goalkeeper, a defender, an attacker. But that's what you find with our system here, is you have a singular measurement system. It's an algorithm, as you say, which takes all of those data points and gives you one number at the end of the game, which is applicable to every player within the league.
I understand. So what I've seen, another curious aspect, in my opinion, is that basically you are somehow nominating public figures as well, sports public figures in your web interface, right? So does it need to have some sort of royalty or some sort of agreement with the players or the leagues, or it's something that you guys plan to solve, or it's not even needed, right?
Akash, you want to take that one?
I mean, yeah, I can. So the premise of the product is actually data. So what we do is we're a data company, right? Oh, sorry. Well, let's just consider like the index calculation, the algorithm element of what we're doing is the data company. What we're really saying is, if you look at those pictures, our assessment of the performance of any one of those players is this, and we can represent that with a single number, which is it can equate to a price on the market. So that's what we're doing. We're saying our estimation of value of this player is this, and that's done by our calculative method, which is immutable, right? We've taken a formula, it's cast in stone. We don't change it. We can't. Okay, and so that the Adrix system tells us what the price or the value is. So what we go on to do then after that is say, well, for all the players that we value, here are the values. These are the Adrix indices. So we're doing no different to any organization that's actually reporting on the performance of a footballer or an athlete. We're providing an index of their performance. So bring it back another layer. If you wanted to go to a traditional bookmaker and put money on Ronaldo to score a goal in the next, the next fixture with Everton, for instance, right? You would get a fixed odds price, and the way that operator will tell you that price will say Ronaldo to score evens 1-to-1. Okay, that's how they would say it. There's no other way of saying it. So you use his name and you use a number, and what we've done here is use the same kind of like premise on that. And done the same. We're just using the name and using the number. So in some ways, we're effectively reporting on the index. That's what we're talking about when we're talking about the website.
I see. So just this limited use doesn't oblige any kind of legal royalty or contract signing with the players themselves, right?
So we're not using the player to sell out. We're using
I see.
We're using the example of our index in this situation, right? So that's where we're going. Actually, the game changes slightly when you come into our product. Inside our product, we've got all the licenses and copyright and all covered in order for you to see the prices and see the exchange prices and do the trade. And so the conversation we're having is about the website. But actually, when you're in our product, we're fully licensed for all use of all materials within that.
I understand. Yeah, I understand. So, because from my ignorant point of view, I thought if I produce a jersey of Barcelona, right, I need to have some sort of license. But here is maybe something, as far as understood, something more similar to writing an article on a newspaper, right?
It's content and editorial. And actually, that's a very good point there. We do not infringe on any copyright or trademark with clubs or leagues. Or authoritative bodies, such as say FIFA or something like that. So we stay respectfully within our correctful space on that. You'll never see us using their badge or their emblem to try to promote ourselves. We don't need to. We've got we've got a product that no one else has got. So we don't need to kind of sit on the back of their brand. We've got our own brand to build. So
that's interesting. I understand that my question could seem a little bit, if you wish, a small detail, but I thought it was important to see as well to understand if you guys had a clear, and I didn't have a doubt for sure, but to understand if you had a clear view as well from a legal standpoint, right? So that's super. And also another thing that I've noticed somewhere in your white paper is that you make some kind of difference with the purely digital or tokenized asset, in which basically you say that this kind of assets, so assets derived on the performance of people, are somehow intrinsically immune to manipulation, market manipulation, and all the things that sometimes are hurting retailing traders, right?
Yes. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's correct. So first of all, I think it's important because I see some question in the chat that our product is not an NFT. It's a token per se. It's the same. It's a pure token or it's a perpetual future, but it's not really an NFT. And when we say it's immune to market manipulation, because we build it like we build indices in the traditional world, like in the financial world. So as Akash said, Dev has been building thousands and thousands of indices to be sold to all the tier one investment bank and all the tier one hedge funds like Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, and others. And it is crystal clear that there are two rules. The first one is the data that we gather is coming from a third-party provider. We don't build the data ourselves. We take it from someone else. And then we have rules that process the data. And these rules are set in stone. Once we decide what is the rules, they're set in stone. They're audited, which means that any movement on the index can actually be back-tested by a third-party company. For example, we can call one of the big four auditors and say, can you explain why Macy's price on that day went from 11 to 11.3? And he say, yeah, I'm able to explain it because I have the rules, I have the data, and it makes sense. Okay, so these are the two main important factors when you build indices in the traditional world, and we've used them for this digital project. So what it means that the index is, it cannot be manipulated. That's the first thing. The second thing is obviously there are markets offer and demand. Like if people want to buy Messi, then market probably the price of the token would go up. But we still have an index that is out there that says this is the benchmark. Messi has played against, Marseille. He scored 2 goals, so his index price should have gone up 8%. Now, maybe the token price can go up a bit higher or can go down a bit lower from 8%, but it should stay in the region of 8%, because then if there are more buyers than sellers, obviously they will push the price a little bit higher than benchmark. But we have that benchmark available on our website. And actually, on the AllStars Trader, which is the MVP, we are very transparent. We show every single piece of data that we gather, and we show how much that translates into index points. So I don't know if you can go back to AllStars Trader to show the community, and you pick any game that you want. Yeah, scroll up, go to football, fixtures. Fixture on the right, past fixture.
Yes.
And then I'll pick any game, for example, So that's
whoa
against. Forgot the name.
Sorry, my internet these days is terrible. I don't know what they're doing.
Oh, it's fine. It's coming. Yeah.
There you go. So you have all the data to eventually look at.
So there is an arrow next to the name of the player. If you can just click on that arrow on the left of the
here.
Yeah. And go to stats. Then basically every single data that we collected and how much that translates into index points, okay? And at the end of the day, you can say, oh, actually, and the beauty about this product is people watch the game, right? They cannot complain that they lost money on Ronaldo. Actually, Ronaldo didn't play well. You can see it. You saw it, right? He didn't score.
Nice.
He made unsuccessful passes and so on. And this is just translating what you saw on TV. And, you know, football, I mean, people have different opinion, obviously, so we have to decide at some point what is our algorithm. Maybe someone will tell you, yeah, but if he scores, he deserves more points, then make an assist. You know, all these discussions, we're happy to have them, but ultimately we have to pick one logic and stick to it, and that's what we're doing. And once we stick to it, everything remains consistent.
That's
and also
awesome.
just to make sure that, you know, we are kind of professional sports in the professional sports industry, which means that we cannot just say the best player of a team is the forward who strikes a goal or who scores a goal. You know, we have 11 players, and the 11 players should be able to be ranked together with the same benchmark. Okay, so actually, if a defender makes a couple of successful tackles, interception, and so on, actually he did a very good game, right? So he should be probably the best player if the striker didn't score a goal, or if the midfielder didn't make a couple of assists, or if the goalkeeper didn't do some diving saves. Usually today, you know, especially in 2020, people just have eyes on the striker, or Ronaldo, or Benzema, or Lewandowski. But actually, it takes 11 players to make a team and to win a game. And that's exactly what we're doing.
So Youssef, basically, here you are telling us that not only attackers can go up high, the system really leverages as well knowledge on specific roles, and this is awesome. But here we are not, and since we are, sorry if I cut you or try to drive a little bit the conversation, since we are at almost the 45-minute mark, I'd like to point out, as our friend in the chat, our friend Moonstar is asking. So here we are not talking about digital token. We are talking about human beings, right? So he's asking, you are currently pricing the digital assets of football player in Europe's 5 major league. Okay. What happens if the team of a player is relegated from the league? What happens if the player transfers to one of the leagues? So he's interested in understanding how the system will react to exceptional events.
Sure. I guess injury and, you know, that's a good question. So basically what we do is we cover 5 leagues, okay? Spanish league, Italian league, German league, French league, and English league for the moment. And let's say a player, I don't know if you remember, but Zlatan Ibrahimovic, he was playing for PSG. Then he moved to LA Galaxy. So what happened when he moved to LA Galaxy, we freeze his price. Whatever price he was trading at when he left PSG, let's say $40, we freeze his price, and everyone who has an open position on Ibrahimovic will be settled at $40 because Ibrahimovic has left our platform. So there is no more transaction to be made on him. And we settle at the last trading price, $40.
Okay.
Then what happened is Ibrahimovic came back to AC Milan, right? 2 years after that. So now we're going to resume trading where we left him at $40. So if people want to invest again, they will invest at $40, and then price will go up or down based on his performance. What happened if someone gets injured? So Van Dijk, I think 2 years back, he got injured for like a year. So same thing, because he doesn't play, there is no data to collect, there is no performance to be made. So his price will just stop moving. We're not going to remove him from the platform because he's still a player of Liverpool, but his price doesn't move. He's not affected by other performance for other players. And as soon as Van Dijk is back, then price resume and people can trade him. He can go up or down.
That's awesome. Yeah, super clear explanation. Thanks a lot. And it's a really interesting choice. I would like to dig further, but let's roll on. And because there's a lot of things that I would like to touch even so briefly. And first of all, I would like to tell our guys that this is just scratching the surface, because there are other, let's say, interesting features, like, for example, the nemesis, which I suppose how a player performs with respect to other players in the same role, or also kind of something that would be, I guess, comparable to investment funds, in which, for example, the Chinese Zodiac teams, in which they will group up players with a certain criteria, and some features will be created for these interesting and fun groups too. But the thing I wanted to touch right now is the interesting aspect of community empowerment. So the community will have a say on the next sports maybe to be added, next players to be added. Is that right? And how will that happen practically, if you already have a sort of idea? Because I imagine it won't be so practical to have everyone spam in TG what they want to be added, right?
So we've given that a lot of thought, and actually, what we need to add to the white paper is our loyalty scheme that we're launching with the platform. So with the loyalty scheme, it's all about AllStars coin, right? Being a purveyor of the coin, being a cheerleader for the platform. Having AllStars coin is obviously an access to the entire ecosystem. So we start with AllStars Digital. You can have access to Trader if you like, but there's also a fantasy product coming in the early part of next year called AllStars Play, right? There's going to be a lot more work on that regarding like combination teams and how you can enter contests with other people, and then NFTs as a purchasing kind of like reward system. So let's leave that for the side at the moment. Just focus on AllStars Exchange. So you hold the coin. You are a loyal, obviously, citizen of our ecosystem, so you get rewarded, not only staking, but obviously you start increase your voting power, your DAO power, as we call it. So we'll make more details on this to the community and the group as we impart this information. So please join our Telegram channel. All the information will be coming to you first. That's how we want to, make sure our community thrives around this product. And actually, we want to take a little bit of feedback.
Akash, AllStars Digital Community. So it's the group, not the channel. So we noticed that a lot of people have already.
Yeah, we will communicate around that. We will communicate. We already dropped the link before the session. We will communicate again at the end of the session. Before our, let's say, community segment. So yes, don't worry. We will make sure that everyone gets the community link too, and not only the announcement channel.
Okay, so DAO, right? Quickly, right? What are the stages of being involved in the DAO, right? And your voting power. So you need to hold, you need to stake, hold, and be part of the community around the AllStars coin. As your power increases, and you can see there's four kind of separate rungs of the ladder to become a top level holder, your DAO power increases. And through the whole process, you were able to vote on certain things, right? Able to enter competitions, you're able to actually get access or vote for who the next player to YPO is, or a new player listing. Actually get access to new player listings early on in the process, so you get a very good chance to get your orders in the exchange, right? So you get your resting orders in the exchange before anyone else is able to partake in that model. And then finally, access to exclusive combination indices that won't be available to anyone else, right? And we've got some really creative ideas around that. Fantasy teams that don't exist at the moment, ETF funds, effectively. So the DAO, and at the top of the tree, the DAO chooses product direction. And we want to obviously create a very thriving atmosphere for people who get very engaged in where we're going next, certainly around sports and the diversity of the product. So that is definitely very much part of the strength of this program.
That's awesome. I would like to further accelerate, if you don't mind, the session, because there are a couple of really interesting questions and a generic, if you wish, rumor noise in our chat. people are really interested into finding out finally how NFTs and metaverse, these two concepts, will play out in real world. I read that you guys have a really interesting concept, not only for, let's say, static collection on NFTs, but you're planning as well to kind of immortalize to freeze a certain important sporting moment into a particular NFT, and then being able to kind of revive this moment through new technologies like virtual reality and AR. And this, to me, is like kind of mind blowing, because it's a really nice idea that will link. I imagine a mix between a photo, memory, and some super cool technological stuff. So how will it and when maybe you will start thinking about NFTs collection, and what can you tell us about your NFT? Because I've seen there are a lot of questions about it in the chat, so I would like to group it in one small segment, if you like.
Look, I just want to put a slight disclaimer here. We were stretching our imagination as far as we could take it, because we know that the potential for this product can run for years and years.
Okay.
With more exciting innovations, right? So let's not say any of this stuff as like a vow to do.
A commitment, yeah, sure.
Okay, but what we're saying is that this is the direction we are absolutely going in. We are committed to innovation. We are committed to community. We're committed to creativity throughout the whole process while we exist. And so, actually, we've started that now. So this is not beyond our touch points. We've already created combination teams, and this is a slight sneak peek into what we could announce very shortly. We've created combination teams, with five-a-side teams, with the biggest sports stars and they're playing together in these combination teams. But we can price them. We can tell you what that entire team is doing in terms of value and worth against your other combination team, and then we can wrap NFTs around that as special characters that we've created that we could actually bring to life in the metaverse. So this is not beyond what we can do. So we stretched our imagination, delivered on creativity, and we can do it sooner than waiting several years for the technology to catch up as well.
So guys, to sum up, the products that we immediately are available, at least 2023 will be the trading platform, and as well, I guess, the fantasy games. When I was younger, we were used to play those on paper. But you know what we're referring to. We didn't have the chance to touch on them too much, because it's so interesting to understand everything about the core functions of the project, and we got kind of carried over there. But here, if you will go through the white paper too, you see the potential, the creative potential of the team, which is laying down a really strong platform. And basically, they are showcasing their creative potential and what can really be done and achieved way further down the line, with such a strong start, with such strong basis. So that's really, let's say, inspiring view, if you wish, for me, because there was so many good ideas. But then there is as well another one of our user, Roadblock, and he's asking me. Digital sport exchange, talking about trading and exchange. We know that the World Cup will soon take place. As a sports platform, will this World Cup have an impact on AllStars Digital? So he's asking, are you also planning, or did you ever consider the idea of having some sort of theme oriented derivatives as well, or maybe the fact that a player will play in the national team will give more chance for his index to move? How will, let's say, that play out? And if you ever discussed about not only the player themselves, but also special events, how that could play in the system too, you see? Because events as well have a value, and that's what he's saying, right? Not only people, but also events. So, well, I don't know. food for thoughts. I saw when I read this question.
The answer to that is yes and yes, right, Akash? The World Cup is going to have a big impact because we're going to launch the exchange in time for the World Cup. And secondly, yes, players, international matches do register on the exchange.
Okay.
So you score goals in the World Cup, you're going to be scoring goals on the AllStars digital platform.
That's awesome. Really, really interesting. And I think that that Roadblock, thanks for the question, really touched a point that I never would have thought about. Last question, really, and then maybe we can discuss real quick about more practical details. But Stephen Great / Sig, all uppercase, is asking, my question is, he's asking, how do you plan to give exposure to your project? Because it's, let's say, a really focused, sports-focused project. You could use as well spaces in some real-life sport event. So it's interesting to understand if you will leverage some particular channel for your marketing, I think.
Yeah. Do you want me to take that? So, I mean, it's really interesting, the marketing plan, because there are a number of people groups that we can talk to. Kind of at the top end of the funnel, we've got something which is incredibly mass scale, which is sports fans. And, for football alone, there are 4 billion football fans across the world. So this is mass scale almost in like no other kind. It's the world's greatest passion, really, sports, football probably being the world's #1 sport too. So there's this kind of huge mass scale audience we can talk to. And, kind of closely alongside that, still at the mass level, is people who like to bet on sport. So there's these two huge groups we can start communicating with, and who we're already communicating with, particularly through Twitter. Here what we're doing is we're bringing those statistics that you're seeing already there, Pufferfish, on our website, on the AllStars Trader product, taking all of those statistics and turning them into really interesting stories and insights. Sure. So it's entertainment and insight is what we're providing to those
young player growing, going good, going bad, got married, and he lost some score.
We're seeing young players coming through who no one else has spotted yet, based on their statistics, based on their data, and we're able to tip people towards these players.
That's awesome.
Who's trending? Who is likely to score this weekend because they're on an upward sweep. And then
that's awesome, guys, and I think it was a really interesting question. Thanks to our members. Sorry if I speed it up, but I would also inform our community for any plan regarding the launch, regarding possible investment opportunities, what could be done today, what is necessary eventually today, and when and what is going to be necessary in the near future, or maybe at launch and whatsoever. So talking a little bit around the financial, if you wish, the crypto aspect of the project.
Akash, you've got some exciting opportunity to offer the group right now, right?
Well, yeah, so exactly. So, our plan, we're on a 4 or 5 week roadshow for AMAs just to spread the word and make sure that, we're giving a generous, welcome to all community members who join this project, believe in it and support it all the way through to, successful minting launch, and obviously the years beyond, right, as the product develops. So we want to celebrate that as soon as we can. So immediately, anyone we can take from, and help join our community in AllStars Digital Community, in our Telegram chat, we can offer you exclusive access to a round from our sort of like allocation, 40% discount immediately. If anyone wants a larger ticket, then they have to talk to us directly, and obviously we can talk to them about that.
Wow.
We'll be on launch pads very shortly. I can give you a code. The code I will reveal as...
Yeah, indeed. I was first thing I did today when I found the token launch page. The form to participate. I filled it right away, no? And then I did have a call, right?
Our team will be in touch with you, right? So
Okay.
We'll be doing agreements with you. But what I want to tell this group is, like, no ticket is too small. It's all about joining in and being part of the community. If you're a token holder, you're part of our team. So get involved, get your code, Nordic 9, and type it in, and we will pass you your early round invitation to token.
Okay, so to refresh, there's no minimum participation to join.
There is, just for practical reasons, right? But actually,
okay,
it amounts to about $50, right? It amounts to about $50.
Okay,
so
perfect.
Okay, we're not leaving anyone out.
So you said Nordic 9 all caps, huh?
Nordic. Well, we'll post it in the Telegram. So if you
perfect.
I said it fast on purpose. Get to the Telegram group.
I'm excited.
So you join AllStars Digital Community Telegram group, and we'll put all the details in there. We'll put the link for the round, for the exclusive offer, and we'll put the code for the exclusive offer too. So AllStars Digital Community.
Okay, guys, so sorry, but I was excited finally. Already today, I need to admit that I was kind of excited.
And be there soon, because our giveaways start towards the end of the week. And so airdrops will start, and actually you get more tokens for references or referrals. So
okay, guys, you heard it. Nothing really to add to this interesting information. Maybe just two really small details, since we are really moving up to the wrap up, would be in terms of vesting and then eventual launch date, right? Do you guys have some info you can actually partake with us?
Yusuf?
Yeah, I mean, we've recently published a very top-line roadmap. I mean, you'll find roadmap details on our website, right?
Mm-hmm.
Akash, you happy for me just to top-line what we put out on the socials?
So always check this page for the roadmap. Okay, we're keeping it current. We're keeping any announcements on here with blockchain launchpads, etc. We'll all go in here. We'll put the names, right? So this is where we stay current. We've also got some big PR going out, so watch this space about blockchain announcement and you love this one, the exchange announcement. We're shooting at the top, people. So we're going for one of the big players, right? So you'll be excited about that. And also the news on vesting is like, now we all understand the market conditions, right? And so we've had to, kind of like get our plans and expectations around that. And so, therefore, we've done a lot of work recently with our advisors and special and people who actually totally understand the market at the moment. And so, what you're looking at here is not the current vesting and the rounds. That is now published, and this white paper will be soon updated in sort of the early part of next week. So, but the new valuation is absolutely attractive for anyone who wants to start investing in this product, because we know what it's worth. It's worth way more than the current valuation.
Yeah. At least I am convinced about it. But we discussed about keeping the session efficient. So sorry for that. We're already a few minutes over the 1 hour mark, but it was so interesting and also exciting. So now I would really like to go on with a sort of formality that we have. And I think that is kind of a formality for everyone, and I'm talking about the wrap-up remarks, final comments, everything that you guys want to repeat to our community or want to say to our community. Please feel free to do it now. So please take it away. And for me, it was a blast having the chance to talk to you, and I really want to thank you for your time and the patience of talking with me and answering all of our questions. Thanks a lot.
Amazing.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So yes, again, guys, if you have some final remarks, please, this is the moment. Else, again, we will move to the community section giveaways. you can you are free to stick for this section too, as we will see for sure in your Telegram, of which I posted again the link in the lounge. So anything else to add? Else, we'll see you around, I guess.
Absolute pleasure.
Certainly.
It's been great.
Yeah, we'd like to come back, Puffer, if that's okay. Maybe nearer the time.
Anytime. It will be a pleasure for me. I had a blast, as I told you. It was really, really interesting, both studying your project and both finally talking to you. For me, it's always, I consider it an honor, because talking with such amazing people, with high-profile professionals, for me, well, I feel lucky, sincerely. So don't thank me even.
Cool, Papa. See you soon.
And so, yeah, we're going to
bye, guys.
I've been posting that link in the AllStars digital community soon. Okay.
Cool. I will remind that once again before closing the session, because now we're going to the community housekeeping section of our AMAs, in which we deal with our own giveaways, give back something to our community, and you guys are amazing as always. So here I want again once more to. I know you had the chance to ask just a few questions today, but the conversation was so high level, and I had really to focus. And there was, let's say, many questions around some topics that I gathered all together. So, but for me, like really, two questions stood out, and of course, is the question from Roadblock with the, let's say, how the real world events will affect the platform, and also the question from Moonstar, which is indeed what happens in the occurrence in special events in the real life of a player. So congrats to Moonstar and Roadblock for one of our giveaways. And now, just give me 1 quick second. I will set up the proverbial legendary duck race. So it's a one-shot chance to win one allocation for the fastest duck. You know, ducks, they can walk and they can swim. But here in Nordic Whales, being like sea people, harsh people, we're only interested in how ducks can swim. So it's set up the race. You can see it now on your screen. 12 seconds of adrenaline starting now. Let's see who's gonna be first at the beginning of the race. Brown is good. Bjorn is coming up, really Nordic name. And then finally, Guru, Crypto Guru, with a final rush, smoking a cigar, gets the prize home. So congrats, guys, really to all of you. Thanks again for the awesome questions you always ask. And well, I will see you next time. As always, it's a pleasure to spend some time with you. See you next time. And of course, don't forget to join AllStars Telegram, community Telegram, with an amazing potential investment opportunity for all of you guys who are more interested in let's say higher tier and maybe more long-term investments. That's gonna be a really nice opportunity. So see you next time. Kisses, hugs, take care, and I love you. Ciao.